This week on our forward journey, we had the opportunity to come to Vermont. We were invited by some very special friends, and it was great to spend the week with them and also to discover a lot of things that were new to us.
It's been a real treat to be able to be back in the fall colors. We've really enjoyed that, and we've got some great adventures for you here in the Stowe Vermont area. For this adventure, we left the camper van at home and flew from Des Moines to Chicago, and then from Chicago to Burlington, Vermont. From there, we connected with our good friends Eric and Carla and drove on to the Stowe area. We'll bring you along on some of the sights and excursions that we took, but first, let's just focus on those leaves.
If there is something we need, it's a leap of faith. A step away from the comfort zone and be a little brave. So take a look around you. How far can you see? How far do you think you can run, standing on your knees? It's a beautiful world out there, just don't pass on the dare. If you have the will and a moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there. It can be a bit frightening, it's something you don't know. You need a little enlightening, it'll make you grow. It's a beautiful world out there, just don't pass on the dare. If you have the will and a moment to spare, it's a beautiful world out there. It's a beautiful world out there. Oh, it's a beautiful world out there, just don't pass on the dare.
If you're enjoying this video, please click on the like button. Also, click on the subscribe button and you'll be able to get our next video. And if you click on this bell icon, you'll be notified each time we have a new video out. Thanks for watching.
It's a beautiful world out there.
One of the unique opportunities in the Stowe area is the Von Trapp family lodge. Yes, you heard me right. The famous family that inspired the sound of music. Now, since I couldn't get Julie Andrews for this video, I've arranged for Janine to help set the tone.
When you know the notes to sing, you can sing most anything. Do, a deer, a female deer, ray, a drop of golden sun. Me, a name I call myself, fa, a long, long way to run. So, a needle pulling thread, la, a note to follow, so. Tea, a drink with jam and bread, that will bring us back to Stowe.
After a great lunch at the Trapp Lodge, we headed into the village of Stowe and explored some of the different art galleries. One of the really neat stops was at a glassblower's studio.
In downtown Stowe this afternoon, and it's another cloudy day, so why not go shopping?
We've been exploring all the little streets and shops here in downtown Stowe. It's really neat, neat scenery. On one of our evenings in Stowe, we had supper at the Valley Dream Farm.
We are getting excited to go for a farm-to-table dinner with Eric and Carla tonight, and we're going to be sitting on hay bales and eating fresh from the farm food. Yeah.
The evening started with a hayride and a tour of this unique organic farm. After after the hayride, we headed across the road to the farm's flower garden, where each couple was able to pick their own unique bouquet.
There's one.
We then headed in for a wonderful dinner of fresh vegetables, roast chicken, and roast beef. It was a great evening. The next day, we headed back into Burlington to explore the city and see Lake Champlain. We stopped at a really neat hands-on science center called the Echo.
Today we decided to come to Burlington, Vermont and check out Lake Champlain. And we're at the Echo Science Center.
Echo Science Center, and we're playing with all the little things that the kids are supposed to play with, and we're having a good time.
The centripetal force acts according to mass, so you can get pretty close to the middle. That'll stay in quite a long time before it spins out.
And speaking of mass, I did a little experiment using leverage to help me lift my mass. The museum has a nice terrace area where you're offered a great view of Lake Champlain, and on the other side of the lake, you're looking at the state of New York.
All right, you can see the clock tower, and we are just in downtown Burlington spending the afternoon.
This is Church Street in downtown Burlington. Lots of shops and lots of interesting things. Lake Champlain is just right behind us. Enjoyed our afternoon in Burlington and really appreciated the drive back home through the fall leaves.
Today we are at a cider mill and they have legendary cider donuts.
Cider donuts.
So I am really looking forward to one of those this morning.
Yep. The Cold Hollow Cider Mill.
Yes.
Okay. Pumpkin packing? Okay.
Very cute.
Okay.
I can't get through the first.
I know. You've not made it very far. It was a real treat to see them process the apple cider. The apples are grown in local orchards. They are picked up and collected in 20 bushel bins, and then the apples are trucked to the Cold Hollow Cider Mill. Apples are then loaded into an elevator that takes them up to the washer and the grinder. The apples are ground into a fine mash, which is then pumped to the cider press, where over 100 tons of pressure is applied. The freshly squeezed apple cider is screened and pumped into large cooling tanks and packaged for the consumer. And we got to try a test.
It's very good.
Okay, what was your reward?
Oh, I found the cider donuts. They're delicious.
There we all are, eating our cider donuts. Well, as you know, Stowe is a well-known ski area. But even though there was no snow on the ground, we still wanted to see the view from the top, and so enjoyed the gondola ride up Mount Mansfield.
We're at the top of Mount Mansfield, and Well, not quite the top, but almost. And it's just a beautiful day. It's about 50 degrees, and it's a little bit windy.
enjoyed a light lunch at the ski village at the base of the gondola, and then drove back home through Smuggler's Notch. We were here at Smuggler's Notch. Eric, you know the history of Smuggler's Notch?
We have a guest. We have a guest interview.
Since the mid-1800s, when the town of Stowe built a carriage road to Big Springs, visitors have sought the wild beauty, physical challenge, and rugged character of Smuggler's Notch. Natural forces take center stage.
Haha, well done.
It's beautiful.
It is very pretty. Smuggler's Notch is a narrow gap in the road between these natural boulders, and it was a challenge doing the drive and interesting watching the cars navigate through, as only one-way traffic was possible at a time. There's also Smuggler's Cave about 100 feet up the trail. That and other caves in this area were used to smuggle goods through the Notch for over 200 years. The first acts of smuggling occurred in the early 1800s after President Jefferson passed an embargo act forbidding trade with Canada. As Montreal was the closest trading port, the embargo put Vermonters in a tough situation. One of the most important goods at that time was potash, and it was used in the processing of wool. And Vermont was mainly sheep farming at the time, and so potash was important. Also in later years, during Prohibition, other goods were smuggled through the Notch.
The leaves are so golden and beautiful, and it's so nice to see fall again.
It's beautiful to see fall. We really are enjoying this time here in Vermont. After being overseas for a few years and not seeing the seasons, it's a fantastic way to celebrate fall. We wrapped the day up with a wonderful Italian supper and enjoyed celebrating Carla's birthday. The next morning, the skies were blue and the colors were brilliant, so we took advantage of the wonderful recreation path in Stowe. It is a 5-mile path, and there's plenty of organizations that rent bikes, so we rented ours and headed out.
About to leave, already packing, come with me, I'm not really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions, we'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow, we can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's go, let's be free with me. Be free.
Okay, like any great athletic event, after many, many miles of bike riding, we've rewarded ourselves with ice cream. A treacherous, technical ride,
but we survived. I don't know why, but in the bike shop, they looked at me and they said, "You will have the comfort model." They looked at Eric and they gave him the adventure mountain bike with extreme shock absorbers, and Janine and Carla have the electric bikes.
And it works great in sport mode.
Oh, and Janine is in sport mode, so.
Fix to try out turbo after.
We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free.
Well, we hope you enjoyed some highlights from the Stowe Vermont area. We had a great week here with friends and really enjoyed getting to explore someplace new and timing it so that the colors were just great.
We hope that this inspires you to get out and find some fall in your area.